Right. Yet again, we have Vlado Platenik. Um, so I keep saying it, but it's true. Nobody has a greater proven track record over the last 20 years or so of taking unranked, no money in bank account tennis players, singles, into top 100 and beyond. So today, from being the world's leading tennis coach, he is a parent of an ice hockey star, not coaching.
Hmm.
Do you
Hello,
think you could
everybody.
be an ice? Do you think you could be an ice hockey coach?
I don't think so. No.
So this is the subject. Well, one of the subjects today. So in golf and many and football, you can be the world's greatest player, but I could be wrong in golf, but certainly not in football. You need to go and do your badges before you coach. That's not the same, is it, for tennis?
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, in tennis, we are lacking this kind of approach. I'm not happy about it. Um, and I think it's a shame for the industry that we don't have this because I believe that we could make the sport better. We could make the players better. It creates a lot of questions because there is a lot of talented kids, a lot of talented players, even in the top of the rankings, top 100, top 50, even sometimes top 10, especially in women tennis. But I'm not sure that they are coached correctly, or they have been brought up correctly.
Because it's
Um,
not even about the biomechanics of ball hitting, which is a complex subject in itself. It's about many other things. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I see a lot of posts on social media from coaches. Taking examples like Medvedev, or let's say some other players who are not playing very orthodox and still making a top 10 or playing finals of Grand Slams. But I don't think that as we coaches we should be finding excuses for us for the right path to become great in tennis. I think we shouldn't build uh, the the base on examples, a couple of examples in the world, and this is what I don't like, because, like I said, it's unprofessional, to make an excuse for Medvedev. Even I think maybe it's not the correct technique, but let's say his fundamentals are not bad. He has good stability. He's staying in the shots. He's hitting the ball in the front. So it's a little bit maybe different than others. But I have seen worse techniques and being top 100, top 50 in the world. So, like I said, I don't think that it's correct from coaches, especially from coaches on the social media. I think a little bit brainwashing the parents, brainwashing the public, saying it's okay to not play technically correct, because you can also reach this and that. And then, a lot of kids hear this, a lot of parents hear these comments. I would say, most of the time I hear this from people who didn't really develop a player, didn't really play high level tennis. There is just it's a Instagram coaching, social media coaching. I'm sure that a lot of players like it, a lot of parents like it, because again, people like to excuse and find excuses in how to not do things properly. But if you look at the legends, the the technique is the fundamentals. The thing are correct. They are clean. They are doing things correctly in every aspect of the game: technique, uh, fitness, mental, tactics. So, me as a coach, as a standard of coaching, I really think, and no, I don't actually think. I'm sure that we should have some rules, and we should all be teaching correct tennis. Of
Yeah.
course,
Well. And it
You
is
know, of
strange
course,
that
you
there
can
is no
find
such thing.
some examples, right? I wouldn't uh, recommend somebody to copy a technique of somebody who is playing unorthodox. You know.
Yeah. And it's strange that there is no such thing as tennis. Everybody's got their own version of tennis.
Well, I think I criticize this. It's the problem of the tours, you know, because I think in every sport, in NHL hockey, in soccer, you know, every association has rules for everybody involved in the game of ice hockey or football. So it means there is rules for coaches, there is rules for management, and so on. So in tennis, you know, it's all about associations and players. And you know, I think that there is no good player without a good coach, and vice versa. But I think
Yeah.
in tennis, the coaching world is completely unprofessional.
Yeah. So last week we interviewed your friend Martin, who got to World 24 and beat some of the top people. And he
Yes,
has no intention of getting a coaching badge and is moving into coaching. And we had Andy Murray that retired and then immediately coached the GOAT, Joko, with no coaching badges.
yes.
And we know that people become hitting partners and then coaches. So, what's the best pathway in?
Well, I think you know, if we are talking about somebody who was top 100 or top 20 even in the world, obviously it doesn't mean they are good coaches, because you know, to build a player you really need to have a good eye and knowledge about the biomechanics and so on. So I would say that all these top players, maybe they could be good. Uh, for example, as a mentor of already a good player, because these guys, maybe they can help them with some tips
Yeah,
how to serve in certain moments of the big matches. You know, just like something a little bit more special from their experience. You know, I think and I know, when because I saw a lot of ex professionals, you know, from top 100 doing a wrong thing and teaching a player to play the same way they played, you know. And so I think, like I said, it's very important that you know, a good coach knows the biomechanics, know the fundamentals. I think we should all study the fundamentals. Sometimes the good players and the top ex players, they were always guided by coaches, so they never had the the need, or most of them, they didn't have the need to actually study, go, you know, through the books, you know, of tennis, the basics of the basics of the tennis, the stance, the like I said, the biomechanical principles of a shot, let's say. uh, I don't think that many players, you know, went through the
yeah,
process of learning about the fitness, about you know, how the muscles work, how the regeneration of the body works. So
yeah,
I think even you were a top player, I would say in soccer, I think it's normal, or ice hockey, you need to go through this process. I think me, immediately when I stopped playing tennis and I decided I go to coaching, I did the university in Slovakia, and I had to learn anatomy and biomechanics and all the theory about tennis,
wow.
biochemics, chemistry.
Was that the
Um,
only course in the world doing that?
I don't know what the others do, but I did, like I said, I did the University of Sport specialized for tennis in Slovakia. So
Wow.
like I said, you know, I committed to the coaching, and I did my degree. You know, I said that I was also lucky to live in Czechoslovakia, and we had a good program since we were very young, and we had to learn a lot of theory already with 13, 14 years old. So this was just like an upgrade to do the university diploma. And like I said, you know, it's very important that it's not only, you finish your tennis career and you think you can be coaching. Of course, you can give a lot of good tips to players because you were a good player. But I think to really understand the fundamentals of tennis, it's very crucial to become a very good coach and understand the biomechanics, the physics, and also, like I said, the other things about the fitness, the anatomy, the biochemistry. All these things are very important. You don't need to be
Yeah,
specialized in those things because I think it's impossible. But as a good coach, you know how your body works, how the fitness works, and you can understand better. Also, you can let's say, because as a tennis coach, you are responsible not only for tennis, but you are also responsible for the fitness part, for the mental part. So we also had psychology in the university. So, like I said, I can
yeah,
see, if there is an aspect that we are lacking, the quality. I am the one who needs to find or search and agree with the other members in the team. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
for me, I would never hire a coach, or I would never stay with a fitness coach or mental coach if I see that the guy is talking nonsense. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's very important that the top coach has the basic knowledge about all the aspects. Obviously, tennis is my priority. Tennis is the thing that I know best, but I'm also aware of all the other aspects in tennis, and as a head coach, as a coach of the player, I need to control these things, and I need to make sure that everything is working perfectly for the player and development of the player.
yeah. And so I think every aspect, as you're talking about it, has the basics as the fundamentals, how you
Exactly.
perform with pressure, how you grow your own identity, how you win the inner battle, your emotions, all of it.
Yes.
All of it is very complex, but it's fundamentals.
Yes.
So how do you see that changing, or do you not see it changing?
I think I heard a lot of comments even from some top ex players. Coaches are overrated. This and that. Okay, guys, why don't you play alone? Since you are like 6 years old, do it on your own, guys. If
Do
coaches are
you
overrated, you are welcome to do it on your own. Everybody,
do
like
you, do you see a lack of respect out there from
definitely.
players and media towards coaches?
Media, not so much. I think the media they are a little bit in the air regarding coaching because I don't think like sometimes me, I
So
just
coaches are very
I just
rarely interviewed, of course. Coaches are very rarely interviewed. It's always the players.
yeah, but I spoke about this. I think a lot of people they are interested to hear what the coach has to say. I proposed this to the tour. Nothing is happening. Like in every other sport, the coach is talking sometimes before the match, sometimes after the match. It creates more visibility for the sport, obviously. Also, so I don't know why they are not using it. But like I said, like we are so unprofessional, so unorganized.
Yeah.
So, like sometimes you want to interview a coach and you find out it's not the coach, it's the boyfriend of the player, or it's a father of the player, or it's a grandmother of the player. So that's what I
Yeah.
mean, like there is no, not the coach's world is not professionalized, from
As you
my
talk,
my
it
point of view.
seems, and the more you talk, the more it seems totally unprofessional.
It is. And, like I think there is a lot of good coaches and they are not on the tour because I think that the best coaches are the coaches who takes the kids and they teach them the right technique,
Yeah.
and many times I witnessed that the player he they do couple of years with the coach, they maybe come close to top 100, or they get to top 100 and the coach get fired because the parents or whatever the player they think they need something special, which is not always correct.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of these coaches on the tour. Like they are having a history of being on the tour. But my question is, okay, you were a sparring partner or you were a boyfriend of a player, and then suddenly from a sparring partner, you get promoted to the coach, and you already work with a player who is top 10 or top 20. Are you really a top coach?
Yeah,
Are you
well,
really a top
development
coach
coach,
going
big
from
distinction.
from sparring partner to coaching a good
Yeah,
player? Because obviously, if you go from sparring partner of a top 10 player to be a coach, okay, you get your you get more visibility because you are with a top 10 player. Okay, but the problem is that you know I don't think it's correct to say this is a top coach because you know for
yeah,
me a top
they,
coach, like I said, is a coach who is able to develop the player, and it's not a somebody who's taking advantage of already a
yeah.
product that is already finished. You know what I mean?
Well, we're
So
going to talk about money soon, but this lack of respect about the
yeah,
professionalism of a coach must
yeah.
impact on how much the coach gets paid. Because if you don't respect the coach, then you don't pay them
But
lots.
this is another problem, I think, because a lot of parents and players, they sign contracts. Let's say the coach is taking 10% of the prize money and has a salary between, let's say, 6 to 10,000 euros. If you are ranked inside the top 100, that's, I think, the usual pay. Some
Wow.
some some top coaches are earning more. So obviously, if you take a player who is 200, 300, and you are getting paid 6,000 euro a month, and you sign the 10% bonus from the prize money, when the player is ranked 200, you are not getting much as a coach.
Yeah,
You are getting paid 6,000 euro, and you are 35 weeks, 40 weeks away from your family, from
that's
you have
tough.
no personal life. And obviously, your goal is to take the player to top 100, because the moment the player enters top 100, you can earn some bonuses, with the
Yeah,
10%, 7% of the prize
but
money.
then
But
they sack you.
what's happening most of the time, these coaches, they take the player to top 100, and then the parents and the players are very smart, and then they fire the coach because they don't want to pay 10% to the coach. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so they find somebody else who maybe is able to do it for a little bit less, who wants to get, let's say, get the name
Wow.
up, you know
Yeah.
and so on. So like I said, it's very unprofessional. It's very difficult also because the player is paying the coach, and the coach needs to be clear with the player, and sometimes you have to be critical. If as a good coach, you always need to show the mirror to the player. And obviously, when the players, they are top 30, top 50, top 100, sometimes they just start to dislike your criticism, and they decide to take somebody who is positive, who is taking the bags, bringing the water, taking the
And gives
towels.
them love, gives them love, says you're
Ex-
wonderful and all
exactly.
that.
And then many times you see the player is losing rankings after 1 year, and then they come up with a lot of excuses. It's too many tournaments, it's psychologically difficult, it's injuries, you know what I mean? But I have been on the tour for too many years, and I know exactly what it is, and like I said, it's difficult. It's difficult, but you as a player, as you have to be honest with yourself. There is no going around in tennis, and that's why some people are top 10, some people are top 50, some people are top 100, and so on. So I think obviously
And we talked about it
the
previously.
good coach
Sorry,
is never
Vlado.
happy. The good coach is never satisfied. Good coach
And
always
the
try
good
to
player
make
is
you
never
better.
satisfied. It seems the best players are the most coachable.
Yeah, but it's few. It's few. There is too much money in tennis. You are ranked 50 in the world, and you are making 800,000, 1 million a year. Obviously, you have to deduct the taxes, you have to deduct the salaries, but still, you end up with 400,000, 500,000 in your pocket per year. So
Men and
why would
women.
why would I listen? Why would I listen to somebody who is criticizing me?
Yeah, but it's the same with Premiership footballers and golfers. They all earn great money.
Yes.
So again, the question is, do you have an ego or are you coachable?
Exactly, but in football it's different because the coach gets paid by the club, and if the player is not listening, the he's on the bench, he's benched. In tennis, the player doesn't listen, and he's losing the matches, and then he's firing the coach. You know what I mean? So it's
And how long have
it's
you been doing this
it's
for?
tough.
You need counselling, Blado. This does not
26
sound like a
years,
great occupation.
26 years. 26 years mark, and like every time I take the player to the top, something happens. I don't know what. I'm not asking for more money, I'm not changing the contracts, I'm not being different. And every time players go to top 20, top 30,
Wow.
the
It
problem
must be
starts.
difficult because it's like a divorce. You must pour heart and
It's the job.
soul and
It's the
everything
job.
into a player, and then it's
Yeah.
gone.
It's the job. It's a shame. It's a shame, obviously, but also everybody is free to make choices.
Yeah,
I say my life is not changing, because every time if I make a good job with the player, I get another job. But for the players, it's a big difference because if you are ranked top 20, you're making 2 million or more. If you are ranked 90, you're making 600, 700,000. So there is a big difference, and if you get out of top 100, you are not making money at all. So there is a big difference. I know there is a very, very thin line between being 150 or 50. And I always try to, you know, advise the player to do the correct things and use, the 10 years or 15 years of the career, to really fulfill whatever your potential is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But like I said,
Well,
many people, when there is 1 or 2 million on the bank account, they are changing. The character is changing or actually showing the real face.
yeah.
And like I said, everybody is free to make the choices.
And they may not have a 10 or 15-year career. They might be out the
Exactly,
top 100 and forgotten and can't get
exactly.
back.
Statistically, from let's say 4 players I took to top 20. From 4 players, 2 players, 1 year later, they were out of top 100 and stopped playing tennis in less than 1.5 year.
Wow.
So 50% of players that I coached to top 20, 50% 1 year later, after starting to speculate and not work correctly, they jumped out of top 100. And sooner, like, they were trying maybe 1, 2 more years, and then,
Gave
they
up.
didn't make it.
And they could have been earning 1 million or 2 million a year every year for 10 years.
Well, I mean, it's difficult, but definitely, when you are top 20 or top 10 and the coach took you there, why would you change the coach? Only because the coach
Perhaps he or
wants.
she knows a thing or two.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not. It's a choice. If you are mentally weak and you are not able to take the critique and work on the things and details that brought you to top 20, you don't deserve nothing else than to get out of top 100, because
So,
everybody wants to be top 100. There is thousands of players
sure.
and parents who paying coaches and teams, to become top 100 or better.
Well, perhaps in the coaching, they need to be trained to be coachable and to respect tough love. That's probably job 101.
Well, I like I said, I think they are coachable until certain moment. You know what I mean? When they
Yeah,
are struggling, they are
yeah,
coachable. They are listening, but as soon they get some success and some money on the account, that's where the trouble start.
yeah. I know the men's game very well. Is the women's game the top three? Are they coachable?
Well, I think Sabalenka, she has her moments, and I really respect the team because I see it's not easy, but they are doing good job. They are really taking a lot of shit, well, I would say, from her
And they've been
for
with
ma-
her a long while, and vice
for
versa.
many years. But at least she's loyal. I think she is very loyal. I think she also admits that she doesn't behave correctly to the team many times. So I think they developed a relationship, for many years, and the team, they know how she is, and they are able to work together. Rybakina, I think she's very coachable. And she's very calm. And I know from many years I work closely with them, with the coach, that she is the one who asks questions and she wants to improve and she wanted to be number one always since she since I know her since she was 200 in the world. And then Coco Golf, I think she's very coachable. You see, I think honestly they are doing very bad job with the serve, the coaches.
Yeah.
I want to
And her blind
criticize it
mechanic's not great.
because I see the technique. She's bending, when she's serving, she's bending in the hips. The toss is not good, and she still has the same people for 6 months, and the serve is not really improving. But she's listening. You see, so this is something special because most of the players after 1 2 weeks, 1 month, if things don't work, they fire you. And so you see, Coco is like I for me, Coco is one of the best players mentally and humanly. Like she's really for her age and for her ranking, she's one of the most coachable players. She's one of the mentally most strongest people. I think Pegula is. I would say she's coachable. I don't know that, but she made a very big progress since couple of years.
Yeah. And she's very
And
wealthy, yeah,
she
or her
seems.
family's very wealthy.
Yes, but she seems smart. She's calm. You don't see any outbursts to her team. And I think she's respectful. So I respect that, especially when you're coming from such a wealthy family. I really like the way she's
Yeah.
handling things. As
Humble.
as so is Emma Navarro. Same thing. So I think it's also education from home, honestly.
Yeah.
And like if you paying your team and obviously you it sometimes the team is not doing good job. Okay, then you fire them, but you cannot really be upset about the team because they are trying to do their best. The goal for the player is to find the best team who can help you to achieve your goals. But why should you be disrespectful to your team, especially when you're winning and you're doing
Yeah.
well, right? So
Yeah.
it's just about education. It's just about the ego, and like I said, the money don't change character, but actually reveal the character.
Yes, it
and
does.
and then many times just the fame and money, it's no good for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Vlado, will let you go. Again, fascinating insights on your life in tour. I am amazed you haven't been to a psychologist, a shrink yourself, because you need it after 20 odd years on tour and all this
Well,
unprofessionalism.
life is tough, Mark. Life is tough. I It's not easy. It's not easy. But there is people who have nothing to eat,
Sure.
no water, no medical care. So I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm in a good spot. Obviously, it's difficult, but there is millions and millions tennis players who needs help. And like I said, I'm coaching 26 years, and I would
Yeah.
say I don't know. You can look at my history. I don't think that any player who I was coaching actually didn't improve the rankings, didn't improve the tennis. Most of the players they reached the best rankings. Most of the players they went from 400, 200 to top 100 or higher. So, like I said, I'm doing my job and I'm not stepping away from my line because, like I
Yeah.
said, my job is to make them better. If they want to feel comfortable, they can find another player, another
And
coach. But
rarely,
me,
rarely
me,
have
I
you
have
been
my
out of work.
principles. I have my principles. I'm not being pushy. I'm not
Yeah.
screaming at the players because I don't want to create pressure on the player. But for sure, the fundamentals and the principles they need to be uh,
I did.
respected. And if the player suddenly, after 1 2 years working with me, having best ranking, they change their mind, I'm actually a bad coach. Okay, good luck. How is it possible that for 2 3 years, you were improving from 400 to top 20, and suddenly after 3 years, I'm doing bad job? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
So I'm going to let you go. You've got a
Thanks, Mark.
interesting dinner this evening. Tell us about the dinner because that's interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm traveling so much, and right now we stopped the cooperation with my player, and I'm home for my birthday, which is not usual. And father-in-law, my father-in-law, and my brother-in-law, we are all born in February, so we have a little,
Great.
celebration with the
And
family.
I didn't say this beforehand. My father was born on February the 10th. My best mate and person that I was his best man at the wedding, and he was best man at mine, was born on the same day. And
Yeah,
my other great friend was also born on the same day. So
amazing.
February seems to be the month of great men.
All good. Okay,
You
Mark,
have a
thanks
great
for your
day.
time
Thank you for your time.
and see you soon. Bye.